Hey everybody, welcome to the Scsportnews-Podcast. I'm the Mulatto Jones.
Hey, and I'm Ricky. Welcome to our first audio-only show. We got some new equipment that we're testing out, so
this is going to be a first of its kind, and we will see how it goes. We are missing a few of our members today, which they're missing out.
Oh yeah, for sure. This new equipment's kind of nice.
It's fun to play with. The unboxing is always the funnest, and I'm glad we're upgrading, and it's only going to get better. We're going to keep bringing up better equipment so that you guys get the best experience that you can.
Oh yeah.
So I first off want to start out with something that means a lot to me, which is Mr. Brett Favre.
Brett Favre?
His number 4 jersey being retired. And I think it is long overdue for the Packers organization.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, you look back at just the Packers as a whole, you got to throw Brett Favre's name into that franchise.
And everything he did for this franchise as far as bringing us a title after the first 2 Super Bowls.
Yeah.
So, I mean, just a rejuvenation of energy and talent, and he really brought the Packers back to, front page news.
Yeah, and was dominant for so many years.
Year after year, All-Star, 4-time MVP, I believe. And the talent around him was just that because of how he made them look. So he also started the legendary Aaron Rodgers. He's the one who showed him the ropes, and we see what he is today. And a lot of that is because of him sitting and watching Brett Favre and learning.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah, definitely had a great teacher to start his career, and you can see now where his career has gone already, just in the a few years that he's been leader of that team.
And so it's a great honor to see this finally happen. And even though he did maybe jump around to a couple different teams, everybody, I don't care who you are, when you remember Brett Favre, you're going to remember first and foremost the things he did as a Packer. So,
well, and it's another thing too, that the Green Bay Packers are such a historic franchise. They've been around football since football was. And for him to be honored and them to retire his number, that's got to be huge for Brett himself and any of his fans.
Yeah, it's an historic moment, and it's definitely going to go down in Packers history.
Yeah. And speaking of history, news came out last couple of days. The AFC Championship game ball recently sold at auction for a record $43,000.
Ridiculous.
I don't get it. Why the Deflategate ball would sell? I mean,
it doesn't make sense to me either, to be honest.
Pay almost $44,000 for a football like that. I mean, Deflategate, maybe. I don't know.
It's definitely a scandal that will go down in Patriots history, as far as
NFL
something that
history for that.
Yeah, something that no one really wants to remember unless you hate the Patriots and Tom Brady.
Yeah.
Which I like Tom Brady. I just don't like the Patriots because we all know he is a Michigan alum, which. Is dear to my heart. So, that amount of money being tossed around like that for something, some people could call it worthless. Some people could say it is history, a piece of the NFL's legacy. I just don't see how, with so many issues going on, something so meaningless
brings that kind of money.
Yeah. There's so much more that you think could do something like that.
Go buy a truck.
But if you have money, I guess, who cares?
Yeah.
But with that going on, the AFC recently finally changed when the Broncos finally signed Demaryius Thomas.
Big deal, 5 years, $70 million.
On the flip side of the AFC, we had the Cowboys sign Dez Bryant.
Another big, 5 years, $70 million deal.
And 2 long overdue contracts that were finally signed.
Yeah, one thing I took out of both of these signings is just the way that the two players handled it. You saw, Dez Bryant a couple times come out and say, if I don't get a deal, I'm not playing. I'm not going to play a regular season game if I don't get a contract.
Yes, yep.
Then you saw, Demaryius, he came out after the deal was done and said, I knew it was going to get done. It was just a matter of time until the two sides got everything exactly right, which I think that shows a lot of, respect and everything coming from Demaryius. And then from
certainly,
Dez.
yeah.
He almost expects that deal to happen, which, he does deserve the deal. He's the top player on that Dallas team.
For sure.
But just the way he handled it.
Yeah, and I think it was a little uncalled for, definitely when it comes to his teammates. Unfair to them. The Cowboys at the same time were just as dumb in not trying to get this done sooner.
Yeah.
He's one of their only highly touted offensive weapons left, and they kind of, I feel like after their really good season last year.
Yeah. And they had a very, very active offseason with the Greg Hardy signing, the whole DeMarco Murray leaving, that whole deal with the Eagles.
Yeah.
That little bit controversial there. Not many people like that, but they were very active, and it did take them a while to get this deal done.
It's a downfall of having Jerry Jones. I think he got on his high horse a little bit too quickly, because after one good season, you go and you openly say that DeMarco Murray, that he's not going to be missed. They were saying that he could be replaced. He was replaceable, and they're going to have to prove it. They do have a very good offensive line, and we'll see if that can translate with this next running back. And as far as Dez Bryant, if they would have lost him, I'm sure Romo would have went right back to looking how he has the previous years before.
Oh yeah,
before breaking out again.
Losing a big key piece to your offense like that would have really hurt them. But other big signings coming from Pittsburgh. Cam Howard, a defensive end, signs a 5-year, $59.25 million deal. So another big signing coming through for the NFL.
Definitely, and it shows again how much money these players are starting to rack up, and it's getting kind of ridiculous.
Yeah, it's you see a lot of it now where deals are happening or not happening because of the salary cap and how much money teams have to play around with, and it's affecting other players on the team. I mean, you look at, a lot of people, Russell Wilson, still working off his rookie deal. Is that because, they were saving that money to, they got the Jimmy Graham signing? How much of that was
adding good pieces to that team?
And how it kind of makes you wonder, you saw it kind of in the NBA with Dwayne Wade when the trio was there. Dwayne Wade said, "No, wait on me. Sign these other guys. Get me the pieces to build the championship."
Yeah. And the NBA's been doing that a lot.
Yeah, you see that a lot more in the NBA.
And when it comes to the NBA, I'm such a big basketball fan. I don't like it because the players are losing their competitiveness. And they're starting to say, okay, who can I team up with this year and win a championship? While, it's good for your legacy to get that championship, you're befriending every single player in the league, trying to figure out who's gonna get you to that glory.
Yeah.
And it's just not working out very well. The NFL, on the other hand, there's very few players who do that, who want to give up money so that they can build around them, and it hurts the team. And then
I think it does too. I mean, you look at these guys wanting this big money, it's locking up other money. If these guys would have taken a $60 million deal, it's another $10 million. There's a lot of good quality players in the NFL that'll sign for a $10 million deal.
Yeah, and it's you got to respect. You got to get your money. You got to feed your family, but how much
$70 million to feed your family.
How much of it is getting greedy, and how much of it is trying to help everybody around you win?
Yeah,
and, it's a team game, so
exactly.
If you come out the loser, but you got your money, well, no one's gonna respect that. So,
true.
Going off of that, we do have Brandon Marshall, who via Twitter, he tweeted out, "If I'm cut, I'll retire." And he now plays for the Jets.
Yeah.
So looks like he's trying to make this his last home. Otherwise, he's trying to. Otherwise, he's just trying to save his face and not be looked at as such a bad guy.
Is there another team that's going to give him a chance to play with his past?
With his history of arguments throughout, whether it's coaches or teammates, who knows?
Yeah, and I don't know. It's hard to say exactly what he's saying here. I mean, he's not that young of a guy anymore, but with his past history with teams, you never know.
Yeah, and he's a really outspoken guy, very talented.
Yes, very, very talented.
And I think the downfall was just the people who he played with. Mm-hmm. Of all of those, it must not have been Kyle Orton, because he said that's the best QB he has ever played with.
Well, not that he's had much to go off of.
That's
he's
true.
Played with some.
So true.
Jay Cutler. Yeah, about that.
Yeah.
Kyle Orton. Okay.
A lot of overrated people on that list.
Who's going to be the Jets quarterback this year? Smith.
And then that's up in the air. Most likely, I think Vic. Vic. If they wanted to win, I think Vic would be the starter. But Geno Smith, he's shown a lot of talent. He's shown a lot of potential.
Yeah.
He's not going to win right away, but he has the tools to become a franchise QB. Under Vic, maybe he'll learn a few things, a little tricks, and also learn what not to do.
Yeah, I definitely think Vic is a very underrated player. I mean, another guy that's had a lot of, outside the NFL issues in the past that's hurt his career, but he's still a very good quarterback to go through. Switching gears here a little bit, we'll talk some NBA stuff. Big signing with the Spurs again. David West signed a 1 year, about $1.4 million for him.
Now, this guy is 35 years old, and we recently know him from playing on the Pacers.
Yep.
A team that had a lot of potential just a few years ago, and has now, with injuries and trades, they're kind of rebuilding now. Mm-hmm. David West switching over to the Spurs can only help that roster.
Oh, for sure. That's going to be a huge guy coming off the bench.
With the depth they're going to have, they're going to be immediate contenders like every other year.
And it's another signing. We mentioned players taking less money in the NBA to get other people. He was looking at $11-12 million contract with the Pacers.
Yes.
Gave that up.
Yes.
To take a $1.5 million deal. But going from the Pacers that probably aren't going to be anywhere close to a playoff contender to the Spurs that they're there consecutively almost every single year.
Every year, yeah. And it doesn't matter who's on that squad. The pieces they bring in and the pieces that leave, they're constantly in the playoffs, and they're constantly they have a shot at the finals. And I think that's really what he's aiming for, is that championship, which is good to see.
Well, and I think out of the NBA, I think the Spurs have done probably the most movement, and I think some very, very good signings this year. Yeah, they got Aldridge that they've signed,
and David West will be a good mentor to him.
Yeah.
They're similar in their position and their game.
Yeah.
So he's going to learn a lot of stuff through them.
Yeah, definitely.
Also, before we move on, Kawhi Leonard, and I really want to just shout out how awesome this kid is, everything he does, and he will be a superstar this year again. Just defensively and offensively, he has it all.
Yeah, and he's still got some stuff to learn, but he's got really great people to teach him. And Tony Parker, Ginobili's teaching him some stuff. Duncan,
and he'll be a good piece. I believe that maybe having so many key pieces on the Spurs is holding him back. Maybe he's not the best. Maybe he's not the best fit for that team. Maybe that's not where he's going to shine. But if he's given the chance, all-star. I mean, I love that kid's game, and he will get him, Tony Parker, Ginobili, Duncan, Aldridge, and now West. These key guys are going to get him back.
Oh yeah,
right into the talk. Also, Josh Smith just recently signed a 1-year deal with the Clippers.
Yep.
And that's another really good signing on their part. Definitely after getting DeAndre Jordan back.
Yeah, that's going to be another good piece with with Jordan coming back. Now you got Josh Smith coming in. You already got Chris Paul, Blake Griffin there. Adds to that lineup and that depth.
Yeah, and again, Chris Paul's been knocked because he can't get past the first round of the playoffs. And even if he makes it very far, I still think he's going to have that criticism because this guy's been an all-star his whole career and never made it to the finals.
Yeah.
So maybe what the Clippers are doing, they feel that they have a really good shot. Josh Smith is a good bench player, so he's most likely going to come off the bench and show some energy and score some points for him.
Yeah, for sure. And other news NBA related, Ty Lawson is now going to enter a 30-day private alcohol treatment program. And court rulings for his DUI charges. He was arrested in California and in Colorado for suspicion of driving under the influence.
Yeah, and it's something that's been going on a lot, whether it's the NFL or NBA. We've been seeing a lot of players start going this route. Mm-hmm. So while on one hand it's really good to see this, and they're getting help and they're getting the treatment they need, I think it should be a example to the rest of the league. Yeah,
and I think that and I don't know how much of this is just the court saying this, trying to get this, or how much the NBA is trying to push this. But either way, I do agree it is a very, very good thing to do. I think it's something that the NBA, the NFL need to be pushing onto these players. That if you get caught with drugs, alcohol, there's a lot of domestic stuff going on.
Yes.
Get into counseling. Get into something to help out with. It does help.
Yeah, and it's all it can do for you is help, instead of trying to go around and just make statements through the media.
Yeah.
Show some action.
Well, and
take responsibility. For
a lot of the times, they slap them with a fine, suspension. That doesn't hurt these guys' pocketbooks any. It doesn't. They sit out a couple of games. It doesn't really do anything to it, but
yeah, it's not going to hurt them at all. Especially when you're getting millions. It doesn't affect these guys. They don't care about that. It takes some action, suspensions, and while it's something really serious, and maybe we don't know the backstory behind this, if he actually has a problem or anything. Yeah. Maybe it's just
2 instances, and they were about a month and a half apart, but that's definitely something that needs to be looked at, and I'm really glad that he can get the help that he needs and come back and hopefully help Denver.
Yeah, and they'll need it.
Yeah,
they'll definitely need it. So taking care of the situation right away. So it's awesome to see.
For sure.
So that's about all the news that we have going on today. As far as sports, we're keeping it brief. But going on in the future, we kind of imagine this show becoming something that is going to be reflected towards any fan of sports, whether it's baseball, basketball, football. We're going to try to get to each topic that is in the headlines. We need your guys' feedback, so please get a hold of us.
And anything you guys want us to talk about, doesn't necessarily have to be even sports related too. We'll talk about entertainment, music. We did our 90s nostalgic deal.
Very fun topic. I liked it.
That definitely was, so we're, I know we're, SC Sport News, but we'll talk about anything. Check out our website, Scsportnews.com. From there, you can find our Twitter page. Like us on Facebook. I think last time I looked, we're 120 plus likes on Facebook already.
Yes,
pushing 50 followers on Twitter.
Yes,
so it's good to see.
It's a nice and slow start. We're not we're not ESPN.
Yeah.
We're not CNN. Or we're ourselves, and we're trying
some local boys from Iowa that doing this. Started off as just a crazy idea that a couple of us had, and now we're looking at. We got some some people chiming in on some stuff, and we want to keep this rolling.
Yeah, the feedback's been very good. Family, friends, and unknowns. People, it's been good so far. So
any feedback that you guys have, good, bad, and different, send it to us. Let us know. We're constantly looking to evolve, looking for new areas to branch out to, new things to talk about. Anything. Like I said, we got all our social media sites. You can, we got all our links. You can message us directly. You can,
and we're gonna answer every message.
Yeah.
We will answer every message. So it doesn't matter who it is, how many there are. We will get through them, and we will at least give you some type of reply.
Yeah.
So please just stay tuned. We have new content coming out all the time. Whether it's our shows, whether it's a podcast now, whether it's our blooper reels, which are really good ones. You got to check those out. Please go to YouTube, like our videos, subscribe to our videos or to our channel, and just let's keep this going. And like I said, stay tuned. We'll have more coming out probably in the next few days. Every few days, we want to try to get something out. Whatever it is. So
keeping you guys informed on all the new stuff, and right now it's kind of been in between time with a lot of the news headlines. We get a few signings here and there, a few stories coming out of different things. We'll keep throwing different stuff. We're looking to do some more entertainment news. If you guys get anything you want us to talk about, let us know. We'll throw it together. We've had a few comments already. Got building on a NFL Network just did a top 100 NFL players.
Yes.
Building a show off of that. Had a few people comment about wanting to hear our thoughts and intake on that. So we'll definitely be bringing you guys that.
So stay tuned. That will be our next show, is the top 10 players in the NFL. So we will break them down, analyze them, and give our feedback on whether we think that's right or wrong. So please stay tuned. Thank you guys for tuning in.
And as always, keep checking out the social networks.